Hello everyone, welcome back to All This for $10, an oral history of a dead gay comedy forum better known to most as Something Awful. We're going far, far, far back in time to a simpler time when your phone was dumb and didn't have a constant connection to the internet, not in the way we have now. When something could happen to you and you couldn't immediately whip out your phone and tell all the little men that live in your computer in your pocket exactly what's happening to you at any one time. It took a while for news to disseminate. And that led to a scenario where a goon's tour boat had gallons and gallons of piss dumped in it.
I've never heard of any of this before.
There is a non-zero chance you have, so let me... welcome back to All This for $10. My name is MLYP. We have another bad episode today, and by bad I mean we're going to be talking about piss. That is the warning. We're talking about a thread called Gallons of Urine Poured in My Sightseeing Boat and Passengers today. That is a thread posted on Something Awful. This episode will have an accompanying guide because it is quite visually heavy. As I've started as of last week, we will be
I'm sure everyone wants to see all the piss images that you can. I mean, knowing myself, people love seeing piss images. We love that.
Love seeing piss. This will be up on YouTube a week after it goes up on a regular podcast. Patreon hogs will get it the day of. We are going to be talking about piss, shit, and wage exploitation. This is kind of the topics of today. Intros. I am joined by Junlper, the host of Western Kabuki, popularized the term goblin mode, and created a viral hoax about the Dickers Snick vein. I got the Snickers Dick vein. Did I say Dickers Snick vein?
You did. I thought that was intentional. I was just going to roll with it. I thought you were doing like a bit. You know how some people will censor, they'll be posting online and they'll put an asterisk for the U in fuck or something, but they'll still type it out. I thought you were doing something like that. I can't say dick. I have to censor it.
No, I got those off of your Wikipedia page. You aren't my first guest with the Wikipedia page, but I was like, I'm going to go through and be like, hey, I'm going to grab some cool facts about you. And I was like, goblin mode. It's goblin mode Junlper, everybody. So Junlper's one of the hosts of Western Kabuki, who are kind of homies that gave me a big start on my podcast career. Statistically, most of you probably also listen to Western Kabuki.
I think there's some crossover if I had to guess. But thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to learn about piss and wage exploitation and the links of. Just before we get into it, I mean, people already know that about Amazon, right? People in Amazon's. This is a totally unrelated to this story, I think. But what I'm trying to say is there's a long history of piss and working exploitation.
Correct. So that's many such cases. One question I always ask guests when they come on is, who are you and where did you post? Now, only two of my guests have been Something Awful posters, but I ask this question to be where did you grow up posting?
Oh God, that's always a fun one because I feel like I never really found my wheelhouse of where I preferred to post until very recently. I grew up in just random forums, Nintendo forums back in the day, a lot of early forum type stuff. I wasn't even really active. I didn't really post. I mostly just browsed here and there. But once I started getting into politics as a young teen when I was 14 or 15, I got a little bit more active on Facebook because I had a Facebook when I was in high school or whatever. That was 2010, 2011. So that was when Facebook was mostly open to the public at that point. So I started there. And after a while, I was I've always been very far left compared to everyone else in my life, people family, all that sort of thing. So I eventually was posting on Facebook to my family and high school friends probably gets very annoying to them. Just seeing me do the same sort of posts I do on whatever, Twitter today or whatever. So I ended up eventually going to Reddit. And the first place I started to really post was the Chapo Trap House subreddit when that was still a thing back in 2014 or 2015. I forget exactly when it got banned. I forget the exact history on that. Maybe
they posted too hard. I know they got banned, and I was semi-regular there too. And then I somehow ended up on a Discord run by someone called Lana Del Raytheon. Who then got outed as who was like leftist shit poster on Twitter, who like almost immediately got outed as having like Google spreadsheets full of women.
No. Oh my God, I didn't hear about that. But whenever I talk to someone who also was on the Chapo Trap House subreddit, I always need to know if they remember 7 deadly fetishes. That to me is like the goat of insane schizo posting on like that Chapo subreddit.
that's bubbling in the back of my head as like a bad memory. That's something that I remember. Yeah, I have I'm like, that is familiar. Like I don't have anything more than, oh no, that is a familiar thing.
7 deadly fetishes was the goat.
The next question I have, this is a new bit. I tried to ask a third follow-up
question.
Sorry,
I was just going to say, to round that out.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Apparently, okay. I love talking about my posting history, I guess. So after the after the Chapo Trap House subreddit got suspended, I eventually moved to Twitter because that was like a lot of the screenshots that were shared in that subreddit anyways. So I went to Twitter, and then I got suspended, but like in 2021, and my account's just not the same. And now I'm just like on Blue Sky, basically. So I've migrated around over the last 16 years.
Yeah, aside from the forums, Blue Sky is the only place I'm on. Like I have an Instagram, it's privated, and I don't use it, right? So
yeah, like most of my other stuff is just personal stuff, like family, friends, like personal real life. Same deal for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always do a bit like when I had I have a third question. You may have got a little glimpse of it when I chucked ahead. Like last time I'm going, hey, what are we drinking? But that was like an evening episode. So like we're all having Heineken's, the beer of driving, right?
Oh, absolutely.
This one's a morning one for me. This is 10:30 a.m. So the question I chose for today is, you have been transported into the Pokemon universe. Would you eat a Mr. Mime?
Would I eat him?
Yeah, I feel like I need to have sustenance. Like if someone offered you a Mr. Mime steak.
So here's the thing is like Pokemon, they're animals. They're like if we're taking this at face value that they're real, Mr. Mime is one of the most human-like Pokemon, and that's very off-putting to me. I feel like it would be cannibalism, even though he's not human. He's not a human species. He's a different species.
He's a little pervert,
He's like he's a pervert human. Like that's really what this Pokemon is. So like it's cannibalism. To me, this would be cannibalism. I don't think I would eat him. I would rather him go to jail for his crimes against women.
My fiance said the pink bits are probably like hot dogs.
No. See, that doesn't make me want to eat him more, though.
No.
I want him in jail. We got to lock him up.
Gotta lock this pervert up.
Yeah.
This is entirely unrelated to the episode. It's just today's absurd question. Next guest will have a completely another absurd question. So we are talking about something awful, the crime of remembering. We spoke about this when I was on your show. Like you were never really on something awful, but a lot of the stories came down to you. I think the thing that really appeals to me about this is no other website like Reddit or Twitter, they never really have a thing where you're sitting around the campfire talking about old stories, whereas on Something Awful we literally have a thread on the post your favorite forum of just post your favorite Something Awful saga, and it's now up to like thousands of pages, and this is about the 6th.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, that's that's the thing about like this website is it has so much history. Like I don't know this for sure, but to me it seems like it's like the forum, one of the forums that's still really active to this day. That like a lot of forums have died or just are no longer around. There's like forums are mostly dead. I feel like Discord's replaced a lot of forums, but Something Awful has,
which I hate,
just persisted. I hate that too. Because I like Discord. I think it can be useful. I have been more active on it in the last recent years, but Discord just doesn't hit the same like itch that forums does. It never really will fully.
No, like I just checked. There's about 3,000 people logged into Something Awful right now. Like just
that's wild.
Browsing the website, have a page, which is wild for something that's just had its 25th anniversary. So, like,
terrifying.
Like it's one of those things where, like, you have to pay for an account. Still, it's still $10. Still $10 to make an account. It's $5 to change a forum. You can pay $10 to change someone else's avatar. Is one of my favorite features.
I still wish, like, before everything went really off the rails, honestly, if Elon Musk did that on Twitter, I would have been like, all right, man, like,
he would have paid off
I'll
his
do that
$44
once.
billion debt. Yeah,
maybe I'll do that once. Yeah.
You just imagine like paying to change like Grom's avatar to something we're about to reveal in a couple of days?
Oh my God. Oh,
You could pay to do that offensively.
He would have to delete his account. Like, it would never stop.
Yeah.
People would,
on Something Awful, if you do this, if I pay $10 to change someone's account, they have to pay $5 to change it back.
There needs to be punishment for posting. There's not enough punishment.
And
like there is like being suspended and stuff, but like that's not really the same as being punished for being a bad poster. Getting suspended is either spite from the owner or crimes. There's no punishment for posting bad anymore.
I don't really know if there's any other website that has what Something Awful is called, like the lepers colony. So that's where every single ban ever is recorded forever. Like if you go to someone's profile and hit the button for like rap sheet, it takes you to every single probation and ban they've ever had.
That's awesome.
All the way back to when they founded their account. Imagine if that was on Twitter. You just see like banned for this, banned for like hammer gifs, you know?
Yeah.
It's great. So, the year is 2004. We are going quite back in time.
They invented piss in this year.
This is the year they invented piss. I always contextualize this with like some tech and politics stuff. So Facebook had just launched is like the time period we're going back to. George W. Bush got reelected, and fittingly, maybe not, bird flu had begun to spread around the world for one of the many times. So, you know, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, wow. A lot of these, I can't believe 2 of these 3 are still relevant, sort of.
Still relevant. And we're in beautiful Chicago.
Oh, beautiful. The greatest city in the world, as I always call
it. You're a Chicago resident,
I am.
My understanding.
Yeah, that's where I'm sitting right now. I'm sitting on the bridge recording.
Have you ever gone on one of those little tour boats?
I haven't, actually. I will be in like a month, slightly work related, but I've never as of recording, never.
Yeah, so they're like, from my understanding, like a lot of them are just like mostly tourist traps, right? Like you got to go around and be like, hey, I'm gonna go and look at some architecture going up the river.
Basically,
all the green dye for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's mostly tourism. I really don't think a lot of the locals, especially people that live in that area, really ever partake in that sort of thing. It's like deep dish pizza. Like locals, you know, like if you ever talk to a local Chicagoan, they're like, deep dish pizza's fine. It's like a tourist thing. That's like usually what it is.
When I visited Chicago like 6 years ago, like pre-COVID, like the first thing I had when I got off the plane was a deep dish pizza, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get it, but I probably won't have it again. It's fine. Like it's pretty good.
It's pretty.
It was great. It was great cold the next day as well. Actually, it's really nice because I couldn't eat it all. My stomach was small. So this is OP's boat. OP is a boat driver of a tour boat. The person that's posting this, like, it should be obvious from the title. It was my tour boat. So he actually was in a boat called Chicago's Little Lady. That is a photo of it. So
what's OP's name? Do we have like a username?
Yes, we do. So without further ado, let's go into the thread. This isn't really a story what a goon did. A lot of my stories are like, hey, I'm building a houseboat. Or I'm building a fucked up zip line that kills children, right? This is what happened to a goon, and they documented it in a pre-internet time. Like, you didn't really have smartphones in your pocket at this point. Like, you did, like, you know, we were getting the iPhones and stuff, but 3G, I don't even think was out at this point, or like kind of was just coming online. Like, we didn't have
because the iPhone didn't release yet. I don't think the iPhone came out until 2008 or 7 or something like that.
So everything in here, if something happens in real life, you have to go home and post about it, right? Like, you can't just whip out your phone and start live streaming it. So things moved a lot slower.
You couldn't even BlackBerry text to post on Twitter yet. That was like multiple years away.
Simpler times. So we do have his name. OP is Lunaran. Registered on February 21st, 2003. They have not been active since 2010. Which is many such cases with these threads. I go through and they're like, oh, they've not been around since 2007. It's like, okay, I hope they're okay, right? Literally only one subject of my episodes I have gotten an update. 2, actually, sorry. Doom Bathroom Guy owns a Cybertruck and it broke. And the guy, Doom Bathroom Guy owns a Cybertruck.
Of course.
Likely thing from and the guy who was trying to build a house truck is doing much better now, health-wise. So those are like the 2 updates. Everyone else is kind of like dust in the wind, right? He opens the thread, gallons of urine poured in my sightseeing boat and passengers today. That is the title of the thread with the phrase, today was one of the worst days I've ever had at work. Allow me to explain.
Gallons of urine.
I work as deck crew for a sightseeing boat in Chicago that does architecture tours on a river downtown. I intentionally showed up late this morning, and I wanted to get a bit of extra sleep. Needless to say, I was already ready to go home. We were puttering down the river, we turned north at the junction, and we're going under the Kinsey Street Bridge. All the bridges have grated decking. You can look up and see the sky through them. Is that still true?
I believe so.
Off your top of your head?
I don't normally walk across the bridges, but I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, so Captain's pre-tour safety announcements, it's mentioned don't look up above those bridges. Like, since a car might go by and you'll get an unpleasant taste of Chicago is the joke they always kind of say.
Tasty.
Now, the Taste of Chicago is the world's largest annual summer food festival held in Grant Park. I googled that. I'm going to trust that Wikipedia is not lying to me.
I've also never been to that. I don't know if this is like a thing around, probably not the world, but it seems like in the Midwest, there's a lot of taste of events. Like in a lot of cities surrounding Chicago, there's like Taste of Racine, Taste of Kenosha, there's lots of those events. I don't know if that's just a Midwest thing or not.
So they're relaxed in the pilot house, and they suddenly hear a heavy splattering noise, like a heavy rain and a few scattered yelps. They get up, go outside, and look out over the passengers seated on the deck. The passengers on the left side are all wet and appear horrified. Something behind the boat is raining through the bridge into the river. And they're thinking like some idiot streets and sanitation employee just went over with a street sweeper, right? Like, that would be a likely thing to think, right? Like, someone with a street sweeper has just gone over at the worst possible time. And
yeah, it's just like soap or something, right?
yeah, unfortunately, some passengers look really horrified. It's not just like a soapy surprise. Quotes like, "Oh my god, it's got in my mouth. It's urine." The smell hits him. It's old piss.
What the fuck?
They look up on the bridge and see a black coach bus, like the kind old ladies take group vacations on, disappearing past the buildings. They've gone over the bridge and being ignorant. They thought they could skip a piss tank pump out. There's a lot of laws about when you can pump out the septic tank. Like, you can just dump it. But they just opened up into the river through the bridge.
Oh my god. Wait, so this is kind of the same story as, I'm blanking on the names, but the like shit tour bus over the river, right? Have you ever heard of that story? Like the shit bus? Yeah, this is like a very similar event.
So OP takes the boat back to the dock, make sure everyone is safe, soap the boat down, and their management makes them run 2 more tours. Their boat company goes, "Hey man, you've got to soap the boat down. We've got another tour going out in half an hour.
But we don't have new clothes for you. You have to wear your piss-covered clothes."
No, he calls his dad to get across town and bring him some new clothes. And his dad couldn't get across town in time, so he had to go out for another tour with piss-soaked clothes. Which is where the wage exploitation comes from in the title, in the description. It's like, dog, you came back being like literally covered in piss. Go do another tour. We're not even going to give you the rest of the day off or shut down. We need that tour money. Which is fucking terrifying.
I'm not surprised. I know someone whose roommate, like, I don't know if he still does, but used to work for the tour bus or the tour boats as of like a year ago. And yeah, I mean, he enjoyed it. It was really fun. But yeah, no, that seems like a common theme even to this day with these like tour boat sort of things. I think that's probably just tour like guide jobs in general, though.
So he finishes his shift. No idea who the bus owner is. Like, they don't really get anything. And goes home, and a few hours later posts on the internet about it, like actually gives us a little update, and that's when the thread happens. Important note, the American flag was pooped on. That American flag picture that we saw on the back of that boat, that got covered in shit. So they had to, because all the guests were still on the boat, they had to solemnly take it down and fold it military triangle style.
No! like someone was killed, like a soldier was murdered.
Yeah, they had to like do this little mock flag ceremony and put it back in the cabin.
And that was like peak American like patriotism at that point too, because there was like Iraq War, like Bush just won. He was still relatively popular, I think, at the time, so that was like peak hysteria about patriotism and like flags and bullshit like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think when I was looking, because I pulled up Wikipedia, I was like, notable events 2004. I was like, Saddam Hussein was still in jail, I think, at this point. He hadn't been put to death yet. So he was like, this was like peak American jingoism, like, you know, Statue of Liberty had just reopened earlier this year type
Absolutely.
response. So high peak. People like threads are like, man, I want to see that. I want to see a tour bus get covered in shit. That would be sick.
I wish I could have seen that. You know what? Okay. I wish iPhones were around, not because I necessarily want to see it, but I would love like frantic posting on social media of like, oh, like, taking a video of the water and then all of a sudden just splashed down over them. Just everyone screaming, and it's just piss. Like, it's not a terrorist attack or anything. It's just piss.
You'd have this in 4K from like 8 different angles if this happened today, right? And obviously puns are where everyone goes. Like, isn't that a pisser? Yeah, I think you're pissing away time with this thread, buddy. It's like, naturally people are just gonna like make jokes.
Yeah.
Like, do you have any more?
That's some peak early internet humor. That's like very Reddit to this day still. Very Reddit humor.
Yeah,
love it.
It is. Like, 2004, right? Like, everyone was Reddit.
Yeah.
Like the other kind of reactions, right? You're gonna get sued hardcore. Like, lawsuits are about to fly. Like, I guarantee if I was in America and I got pissed dumped on me for a tour bus, I'd be suing everyone who I could see. I'd just be like, give me your contact details, my lawyer will be in touch in about 3 minutes. Was it R. Kelly's bus? He was on tour at the time in Chicago.
Oh, damn.
And OP identified it as like a rock and roll tour bus. So maybe something to go on. Like, there's so many questions, and this is actually a really small thread. There's only about 7 pages in it.
Wait, so did they ever find out? Like, was there any ever like a discovery of what bus this was?
Yeah. So they identified that it was a rented bus for a rock tour, or at least a concert tour, and the police are tracking it down. That's the update we get from OP. They know what the bus is, and sooner or later things will come up. And it's like, this is like, someone's like, please be sis Jessica Simpson, I'm a little gooner. But others are like, I just want to know, like knowing what musician is will make it funny. Obviously, an event like this hits the news, so it's in the Chicago Monday Tribune Metro section. The headline is immediately "Taste of Chicago."
Holy shit! Do you have a screenshot of this, or like a picture of this headline? I would love to see this paper.
I couldn't find it.
No, the Chicago Tribune. I would love to see if there's like archives around somewhere in Chicago that I can maybe investigate.
I have some other screenshots, which I have later on for some other reactions. Once we find out who does this. Because once we find out who does it, it gets a bit funny. So, side note, what kind of music do you like, Jin?
That's a big question. I like a lot of music. I like indie. I like rock. I feel like I've kind of been in recently. I think whenever someone asks me what music I like, it's easier for me to answer what I've been listening to recently. So I've been listening to like a lot of cold, dark wave music. I've been listening to like Black Marbles. I've been listening to a lot of New Order recently, like a lot of that sort of like, I guess not new wave, but like dark wavy type synth music recently.
Let me just pull up my on repeat on Spot, because I'm a hog for Spotify, unfortunately.
Actually, let's both read off our on repeats, our top 5 on repeat right now.
Mea Culpa by Gojira, All My Friends Are Dead by Turbo Negro, Mamma Mia by Mainskin, and Wicked and Bad by Bob Villain.
Amazing.
Mine. So it's like a big mix. Like, I have other stuff in there. Like, I am ashamed to admit there's one video game song in there. But it's a nice song.
What's the video game song? Is it really embarrassing? What is it?
It's going down now. It's going down now from Persona 3.
Oh, I mean, Persona is a great game. I never played 3.
Persona's a great game.
But so my top 5 on repeat right now are Love Vigilantes by New Order, I'm Always in Love by Wilco, Asian. This is crazy. This is a crazy name. So please do not okay, I'll just read it. It's Asian Gangsta Kids by EE. It sounds crazy. It's a really good fucking song. Dream Attack by New Order, and Faces by No Swoon. That is my current top 5.
So, do you like the Dave Matthews Band?
Oh, wait, is this literally what I was thinking of? Wait, I think my dad likes Dave Matthews Band. I've never really listened. This seems like up his wheelhouse.
So they're an American rock band from Charlottesville, Virginia. They're like a big jam band. Like, they just turn up and they just kind of rock out. August 2004, they were on tour in Chicago.
Oh my god! Wait, did I mix these stories up in my head? The shit bus and the piss bus, they're the same.
The bus responsible had been located the next day. Now, the benefit of hindsight that we're going to go through here is this incident made up for clout? And it's like, at least proto-clout. And we've discussed this, right? No one really had a smartphone.
Yeah.
There's no way for someone to like pull this up. And going through the timestamps, OP posted this before it hit the news. So he had time to see it or have it happen to him go home and post about it. This isn't him doing something in retrospective, right? Like, this isn't him just kind of doing it for clout. This happened to OP.
Yeah.
And it's
because
print news is still king, right?
Yeah, like
at this time?
There was no such thing as building an audience or clout really on the internet at that time. Like forums, the thing that's interesting about like Twitter / Blue Sky compared to forums is like Twitter and Blue Sky have notable characters and posters. And so do forums, but it's a totally different function. Like, you build your audience on something like Twitter, but you kind of are just known in the community on a forum. That's like the most clout you get.
You get a reputation, right? If anyone ever mentions moving into a condo, someone will chime up going, like, and this is very deep, something awful cut to a post that doesn't really post anymore. It's like, I hope you're not moving in with 3 Olives, who's another poster who infamously was a gay man who lived in a condo. And it's like, that was just, he just posted so much about his condo that if everyone else posted about a condo, they'd be like, I hope it's not next to 3 Olives. You know? It's
very reputational. I mean, just like how we started when I brought up about 7 deadly fetishes. It's like, he's not like an evil person, but he was notorious at the time.
So I've been edging who this is, right? The bus is found. The police enlist local stores to scour their security tapes, like they're front facing, and they track it down. A tour bus belonging to Dave Matthews Band dumped 800 pounds of human waste from the bus's Blackwater tank through the Kinsey Street Bridge in Chicago onto an open-top sightseeing boat. You were right. That stories, you're not mixing them up. Those are the same stories.
They're the same. So I have heard of this story. I didn't know that the first instance of this being talked about at all, though, was on something awful on the internet. I just heard of the story.
This happened to a goon who worked on said sightseeing boat.
I love when people that are posters experience like these and like
a
post about them.
Monumental event.
That's huge. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Now, Jerry Fitzpatrick was a long-time driver for Dave Matthews Band. He was actually in downstate. He was actually in Effingham. He was away. He was actually like quite a few hours drive away, and they hadn't emptied the tank for a few days. So they're very cautious about it. Like, he's a long-time tenured bus driver, but it did happen, and the bus was a Dave Matthews Band one. So they had multiple buses. Like, obviously the first attentions are going to go on the guy who's been your tour bus driver for years. So they identify the driver as Stephen Wall, and Dave Matthews Band does settle with the state of Illinois.
Get their asses.
The Onion picks this up in 2025. Oh, that's when I took the screenshot. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's when I took the screenshot. But The Onion does dunk on this at some point in the past. Eventually Dave Matthews Band dumps another 800 pounds of shit on the same boat.
Oh God.
And that is actually the same boat. I just zoomed in on that little
Oh yeah, I didn't even look at the fucking picture of that yet.
Chicago's first lady got pooped on again. And it's like, oh no. And it's so this picks up in Drudge Report, Jimmy Kimmel, Rush Limbaugh. Like, this spreads.
Everyone's talking about it.
Like, everyone talks about, you would in 2004. Like, there's one news story a day back then, right? And it's like, we have the acceleration of news cycles now, where a new thing happens every day, whereas this would just dominate the news for a whole day.
Yeah.
And then you get another news piece the next day. Like, everything's so slow and has time to marinate. Like,
even your grandma talks about the shit, the shit and piss boat.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking recently about the acceleration of memes and how they just get recently we had that guy who was doing his morning off, wakes up at 4 a.m. and does booty squats on the balcony and dunks his face in ice water 3 times.
Yeah. That lasted 3 days.
Yeah, that lasted 3 days. And now he's gone, right? It's sad. But back in 2004, a meme would last 2 months. We're all still doing the Numa dance.
It's right? No, that's so true. I was having this conversation recently too, and it's not like people have been talking about this for a while. I feel like the acceleration of the consumption of memes and events like this, it kind of started around 2016. I feel like there's something shifting, and maybe it's just because I got older, but I think it was just the increased usage of the internet and the speed of algorithms in 2016, 2017, that consumption of media and news totally accelerated, and we're just waiting for something else to dunk on or talk about.
I think it's it's not there's no one single event. I think it's a combination of smartphones getting easier and cheaper and data getting cheaper and cheaper. And to the point where there's just critical mass of people on algorithmic platforms just drives faster and faster, right? That's just the obvious way that it would be.
Yeah.
the band goes on to settle. They have a 2005 legal settlement with the state, $200,000 fine, and they donate $100,000 to two groups to protect the river.
That's a lot of... imagine going to a restaurant and like asking to shit, and they're like, only if you pay $200,000. That is an expensive shit and piss. Oh my God.
How much do you think that offsets the green dye that goes in every sample?
You know, I somehow think the green dye is more environmentally friendly than the piss and shit that they just offloaded onto humans.
Does it actually look like that in person? Have you ever like?
So I never actually
saturated and boosted.
I have never actually seen it in person, but it does look like that. Yeah, that it is that green. I don't exactly know how they do it. It's kind of absurd that they do that every year.
Yeah, the fish in there must be unhappy.
Yeah, I don't know how other cities... I've only ever like been in the Midwest during St. Patrick's Day, so I don't really know how other areas go. Probably the East Coast is probably a little crazy with their Irish population, but like around this time when they put the dye in the water in the river, everyone's wearing green shirts. You can kind of see it in that picture. Everyone's wearing green. Like, people love it here. People go crazy for the color green that weekend.
Just because that's what Boston and all the other Midwest, like Boston, Massachusetts does the same, Chicago does the same, like all this stuff up there. It's like, we're just Irish now. It's
like, everyone's drinking so much, even their piss is green. It's like everyone loves it.
So what happens to Lunaran doesn't really get anything out of this, just the knowledge that Dave Matthews Band has pooped on him. Like, he kind of keeps posting for a couple of years, but there's no real fallout or result to this thread, and this is one of those things where it's very funny to slowly reveal this to someone, but it's not like there's no grand reveal like a Doom bathroom is like, look at my shit. It's like, no, you just got pooped on by a band. That
is like the interesting thing about like pre-clout internet is like these days, like it would be handled a lot differently. Yeah, he would be Haktua. He would be going on Haktua to talk about, he's like, I still have a sample of the piss. I have a jar around my neck, a piss jar. Like
Dave Matthews Band poop coin.
Literally, though. Oh my fucking God. That actually would happen today. And that's like, it's evil. It sucks that that's probably true.
Yeah, you make a Dave Matthews poop coin.
Oh my fucking God.
But it's, yeah, it's right. Like, the thread just ends. Like, people just stop posting. Like, oh yeah, sweet, we got the funnies. Next thing.
But that's also the interesting thing. It's a very short thread. It's a real news story, but it's still like an iconic thread to this day. Like, I mean, we're talking about it now. People keep going back to this one. Like all these different places still riff on this joke and this like actual event. It's interesting that a very short instance online kind of led to all of this. Yeah.
Whenever someone brings up Dave Matthews, I'm like, oh yeah, the guys that dump shit in a river. Yeah, that one. I don't like. I couldn't even name a name of their song off the top of my head.
I can't either. All I know is my dad likes that band. I'm pretty sure that's the band he likes.
So Lunaran's like, hey, I should be grateful my name was in the paper, which I would be too. I wouldn't want my name permanently associated with this. Sonia, his coworker, was in every single article, and her name will forever be known as this. She's kind of mad about that. So
I guess I wouldn't really want to be associated with being pissed on. That kind of sucks. That would suck.
Now, I live in a coastal city as well. So we have lots of cruises, and there's dinner cruises that go out into the harbour and have a nice time. Imagine if you're on a dinner cruise up the river and you've got... that was like the only thing in my head.
Oh, no. Oh,
you're just like, I love this filet mignons. You'd never eat again.
You know the Tim Robinson sloppy steaks bit? That's some real sloppy steaks. That's some real sloppy steaks. Oh
no. So the thread dribbles out. It's 2 pages of the unfunniest piss jokes kind of you've ever seen. And people going, oh, look, it's Drudge. You're in Drudge Report. Which, it's like, I'm still surprised Drudge is still around. But it wasn't even a Drudge Report, right?
Very, very timely. No one really talks about the Drudge Report anymore.
It's nice. This is a nice window back to the past where, like we've discussed a bit, everything moved slower. This was in the news nationally for a day. And we get a snapshot into someone's perspective of it. Like, there's no... Like, if this happened now, there'd be Twitter threads and memes and, like, YouTube videos dissecting it, and it would... But no, this is just a post going, I got shit on, what the fuck happened? And everyone going, was it Jessica Alba?
Yeah, no, the way that the internet is consumed and used is like an endlessly fascinating and also very bleak thing, because I mean, I think like we talk about on Western Kabuki a lot about how the internet feels very evil. We talk about a lot about like how things have changed on the internet and like how it's used for evil these days. And I don't know, this was a very pure time to be posting about being pissed on. You wouldn't, yeah, there would, like you said earlier, Pisscoin. There's no Dave Matthews Pisscoin.
So we are basically 2 degrees removed from Dave Matthews, because much like it's 6 degrees or 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, like we're now 2 degrees because we post on the same forum as Lunaran, who cleaned up Dave Matthews' piss. is the main summary. That's a direct quote from him. You are now, minimal degrees separated from Dave Matthews via piss. That's really the story, and this is now where I throw it over to you for a final pluggable bit. What's going on in your life, Jin?
What's going on? Really, like the main things that I'm kind of working on at this point is Western Kabuki. Check Western Kabuki out. It's just a podcast about what's going on online. I think by the time this comes out, our Grum's a little event, our little story that you're also going to be, you have a beautiful, I watched the preview of it the other night. Beautiful. But yeah, no, check out Western Kabuki. I work on that. And then I just mostly post on Blue Sky. You can find me there at junlper.beer. Other than like Blue Sky and my podcast, Western Kabuki, that's mostly everything I'm doing at the moment.
Well, I am found on Blue Sky as well. I don't post anywhere else other than the forums. My links for my stuff will be in the description. All of the Western Kabuki stuff will be left in the description. The thing that I send off every single one of these episodes with is the one piece of wisdom. There's like 3 things that you can hand to Lotax, the founder of Something Awful. It's like, one, like moderation with an iron fist keeps you from being like a Nazi bar on the internet. Like it keeps people out.
He
like,
hated perverts.
He hated perverts, so he was cooking with those 2, and like you have to, under no circumstances do you have to hand it to him type thing. The other thing, and it's like a tagline of Something Awful, is the internet makes you stupid.